It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Today, we start in Hollywood, the LA City Council district of Hugo Soto Martinez.
Yeah, clap that up.
No one wants to clap it up for Hugo? Hugo's in a little bit of a pickle. See, there are a lot of residents of Hollywood that are very upset with the slow pace that it takes Hugo Soto Martinez to listen to complaints from constituents about things like cleanliness and homeless encampments. However, Hugo Soto Martinez also has a big ol' happy, loving affection for bike lanes and bicycles.
Yeah, clap that up.
Hugo Soto Martinez is reimagining Hollywood Boulevard with bike lanes that are protected, taking away lanes from traffic. And as soon as they did the ribbon cutting ceremony for these bike lanes, what started happening? Homeless people were putting debris in the bike lanes. So Hugo Soto Martinez now has to weigh two of his most important priorities, not cleaning up homeless encampments, but also giving all the love to the bicycle lobby. Well, Hugo Soto Martinez had a dilemma. He knew that he was going to be hosting the Cyclavia event for Hollywood, which is a thing they do pretty regularly all around LA where they close down major streets and it's only for pedestrians and bicyclists and it's a celebration of bicycles. No cars allowed. But you can't have a big event like that, an activation with lots of members of the public when there's homeless encampments that could be endangering that public. So Hugo Soto Martinez had to make a choice. And now, on the other side of Cyclavia, an event that went off without a hitch, it turns out that Hugo Soto Martinez actually did his job for once.
Yeah, clap that up.
But he doesn't want to admit it. For more on this incredible investigation, we go to one of the best in the business, NBC4 and Joel Grover. Don't ever get on the bad side of Joel Grover.
Was it just coincidence, or was the city of Los Angeles trying to get the homeless out of sight? The I-Team's Joel Grover has been investigating this and joins us now live. Joel.
Well, housed residents in one L.A. neighborhood had been begging the mayor and their city councilman all year to remove encampments that brought drugs, fires, and trash to their area. The city took no action until just before it hosted a major event.
Isn't that a coinky-dink?
Take a look at Hollywood Boulevard and Gower. Not a homeless tent in sight. The exact opposite of what the I-Team has been documenting here for years. But 2 Sundays ago, the city opened this.
Hollywood and Gower, that's the one that got so bad at one point. There was a woman trying to get through there, and the encampment was so full of debris that a woman had to walk in the middle of the street to get around the encampment, and she got hit by a car because that's an off-ramp for the 101 freeway.
But 2 Sundays ago, the city opened this stretch of Hollywood Boulevard to thousands of cyclists for the bicycling event called Cyclavia. And right before that, the tents were suddenly gone, including this encampment at the corner of Hollywood and Wilton, which caught on fire twice this year.
Holy cow. So we don't clean it up or get the dangerous people out of there when it catches on fire the first time. We don't get the dangerous people out of there and clean up that encampment when it catches on fire the second time. But when we're about to invite all the bicyclists to come party in Hollywood, the tent's got to go. Or to quote Shang Tao, you gots to go.
Just a block from Levi Freeman's condo.
There was an encampment here for years. A few days before Cyclavia, it's gone.
I don't think it's a coincidence. I think that they probably did it because they knew all the eyes would be on this area.
For months, Freeman emailed and called his councilman, Hugo Soto Martinez, pleading with him for the removal of the tents for the safety of our community.
This guy does things the right way, which, as we know, is always the wrong way. Going through the proper channels will never get anything done. The city council only reacts to embarrassment or potential embarrassment, your first step is to call Joel Grover, not to be calling Hugo Soto Martinez, because for months and months and months and months and months, this guy was contacting his councilman about a dangerous encampment that was endangering the lives of constituents, and Hugo didn't care. He didn't want to criminalize that.
Let's criminalize catalytic converters. Let's criminalize copper.
You're never going to live that one down, Hugo.
Pleading with him for the removal of the tents for the safety of our community. Most of his emails were never answered.
How rude. You can't even defend your position while you won't do your job unless you're going to look bad.
Most of his emails were never answered.
It really was horrible to be ignored again and again when we're crying out about safety. We feel unsafe.
But 3 days before Cyclavia came to Hollywood Boulevard, the encampment at Hollywood and Gower was dismantled.
You don't say.
By the mayor's Inside Safe program. And that other encampment down the street near Levi Freeman's condo was suddenly gone too.
We don't know.
All the homeless get cleaned out of Hollywood so the bicyclists can have a party. That's what happened here. Well, that's what it looks like happened here, except Hugo is denying that that's what happened here. My question to you at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Do you think Hugo Soto Martinez swept the homeless under the rug so his bicycle friends could have a party? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. He's been the councilman for almost 2 years. When people call him to say there's a problem, he doesn't even respond to the email, doesn't respond to the call. But as soon as the bicycle party is here, then he does his job. Do you think Hugo only cleaned up the homeless encampments to impress his bicycle buddies? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. We are in awe of the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Hugo Soto Martinez.
Yeah, clap that up.
800-222-KABC.
We don't know what happened to those folks.
City councilman.
We don't know. You don't keep track. That's your job.
We don't know what happened to those folks.
They just disappeared on their own. I had nothing to do with it. This is the first time we've ever seen a LA City councilman trying to not take credit for doing their job.
We don't know what happened to those folks.
City councilman Hugo Soto Martinez.
How is it that that particular encampment is suddenly gone 2 days before Cyclavia?
We don't know what happened to that encampment.
The council.
We have no idea. They just up and disappeared. I have nothing to do with it. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Hugo. We don't know. This encampment was here for months, and people kept calling and complaining, and I don't know, they left. They decided to go somewhere else. Sure, Hugo, sure. He is caught in such a position because he doesn't want to piss off the biking crowd, but he also doesn't want to piss off the don't do anything about homelessness crowd, which are his two constituencies that got him into office over Mitch O'Farrell, a city councilman who has a lot of the same political views as Hugo, but got punished for cleaning up a homeless encampment in Echo Park. That's why he got knocked out and Hugo got put in. Aren't you excited, Hugo?
Yeah, clap that up.
But Hugo doesn't know. I don't know where the encampment's went. I have no idea.
We don't know what happened to that encampment.
The councilman's communications director had a theory.
Could it be a possibility that unhoused people know that Cyclavia is happening and move because they don't want thousands of people biking by them?
Okay. So Hugo doesn't know. Hugo's communications director, who probably is making a six-figure salary, claims, well, the homeless must have just known that Cyclavia was coming and they don't have bicycles, so they obviously didn't want to be a part of it and they just decided to go somewhere else and pitch up their tents somewhere else. Yeah, I don't know about that one, Hugo, and Hugo's comms director
Had a theory.
Could it be a possibility that unhoused people know that Cyclavia is happening and move because they don't want thousands of people biking by them?
But that's not what happened, according to several LAPD officers who spoke with the I-Team off camera. They say that
they can't speak to them on camera because they would be punished by defund the policer Hugo Soto Martinez.
Yeah, clap that up.
They say the councilman's office asked for a cleanup of this encampment just days before Cyclavia, and the city told the homeless here they could no longer pitch their tents here during the day. When the area was cleaned up, the cops say those homeless moved into this abandoned house just around the corner.
Well, out of sight, out of mind. So, let's recap. For months, residents complained to Hugo about a dangerous encampment, one that caught fire twice in the last 8 months. Hugo does nothing, doesn't even answer emails about it. Cyclavia's coming up. That homeless encampment's right in the path of all the bicyclists. And all of a sudden, covertly, he requests that that thing get cleaned up, that those people get out of there. Huh. And then, when he gets asked by Joel Grover, what happened here? I have no idea. I don't know. I'm going to take the word of the LAPD officers who are afraid to speak on camera over this guy.
You know, let's criminalize catalytic converters. Let's criminalize copper.
Maybe you beg to differ. Are you buying Hugo Soto Martinez's story?
But the councilman was sticking to his story.
The city did not have anything to do with that encampment being dismantled.
What a joke. I mean, where did they go then if they were just to have left?
The cops say they ordered the homeless out of that abandoned house
Under the direction of Hugo's office.
and it's now been sealed up.
Hopefully they won't be back.
And house residents say if the tents return to Hollywood Boulevard,
Do you think people feel safe using those bike lanes, Hugo?
they'll show up at public appearances by the councilman, waving signs and demanding these encampment cleanups are permanent.
Everybody wants.
You damn right you will. And every single time Hugo is going to do an event, you get out there, you get in his face, you get Joel Grover on the case, you get all the reporters and all the other channels on the case, because this is going to be great. If they only clean up the homeless for Cyclavia, you know what we might need to do? We might need to have, I can't believe I'm going to say this, more Cyclavias. Start suggesting a Cyclavia in your neighborhood, if only so they can clear out the homeless encampments.
Cleanups are permanent.
Everybody wants the same things. We want safety, and people shouldn't be afraid to ask for it.
Now, if the city can make tents go away during an event like Cyclavia, housed residents wonder what will happen when LA hosts the Summer Olympics in 2028. I know it's a few years away, but we will be watching.
I think they're all going to get swept under the rug. Here's my question to you after hearing this story at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. There were a couple of real problem homeless encampments on Hollywood Boulevard. Residents have been complaining about them for months. Hugo stonewalled. Hugo didn't do anything. All of a sudden, Cyclavia is coming up, and those homeless encampments magically disappeared. Hugo Soto Martinez says he doesn't know how that happened. He doesn't know where they went. He didn't do anything about it. Do you believe that Hugo had nothing to do with the homeless leaving Hollywood Boulevard before Cyclavia? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Do you believe Hugo's story?
Yeah, clap that up.
It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. LA City Councilman Hugo Soto Martinez
Clap that up.
had two big homeless encampments on Hollywood Boulevard that he did nothing about for months and months and months, even though there were complaints from neighbors about things like fires and crime and drugs. However, when Cyclavia came around, those homeless encampments magically disappeared. But Hugo says,
We don't know what happened to that encampment.
are you buying what Hugo Soto Martinez is selling, that he has no idea why those homeless encampments disappeared right before his big fancy bike event? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Bill in Irvine. Bill, hello.
Hello, Randy. Yeah, you know, typical liberal actually does something good and is so afraid of offending his liberal base. Here's the deal. The only way to solve the homeless problem is to take the material, the tents, all the camping equipment, the lawn chairs, take it and make these homeless people go to where they should be, which is a homeless shelter. They need to be in a homeless shelter. But old Hugo is afraid to say, now, can you imagine if Trump cleaned up a city street, he'd get on the news and say, look how beautiful this place is. A conservative takes pride in doing the right thing. A liberal hides. He knows it's the right thing to do, but a liberal is so afraid of saying what's right. He wants to have it both ways. It's ridiculous. He needs to get a spine and say, yeah, I cleaned it up. I got rid of this problem. I'm going to keep it this way. But a typical liberal is afraid to offend his homeless voter base.
It's the wildest thing, and that's exactly how he got into office to begin with. His predecessor, Mitch O'Farrell, is just as to the left as he is on most issues, but Mitch O'Farrell was fed up with the crime and the insanity that was going on in Echo Park. So he cleaned up Echo Park Lake, got the homeless out of there, and the homeless advocates punished him by kicking him out of office and putting in Hugo. So now if Hugo does the same thing, he knows that they're going to kick him out of office.
That's right. You know, it's real simple. The homeless people, they make these encampments. They keep getting bigger and bigger. Some of these streets you drive down, they got refrigerators, they've got camping gear, they've got ovens and barbecues. Listen, all that stuff's got to be taken out of their possession. Make these people go to homeless shelters, clean the streets, get it the way it was 30 years ago. And you know what? The liberals know it's right, but they're afraid to admit it. When they do something right, they are afraid to step up and say, I did it. It's unbelievable. Just like Kamala Harris does her interview tonight. She won't say anything other than just a bunch of meaningless word salad. These liberals don't know how to speak clearly and take a stand. That's simple.
There you go, Bill. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. If you'd like to email us, you can do so at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Penny writes in and says, Hugo cleaned it up. Good for him.
Yeah, clap that up.
You know what? That's what we're going to do. We're going to start thanking Hugo Soto Martinez publicly, too. Thank you, Hugo Soto Martinez, for cleaning up that homeless encampment, for finally listening to your constituents. Because whether he did it on purpose or not, whether he did it just for the bikers or not, the homeless encampment is gone, and his base will be pissed at him for doing it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Hey, let's do this right now. 790 KABC welcomes Joni Mitchell, the Asylum albums from 1976 to 1980. The 4-CD set is out now with newly remastered versions and liner notes by Meryl Streep. Right now, caller number 9 at 1-888-790-5222. 1-888-790-5222 gets a 4-CD set of Joni Mitchell, the Asylum albums, and qualifies for the 6-LP box set. This prize is furnished by Rhino.com. Good luck dialing. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. You can also email us at randykabc@gmail.com. That's randykabc@gmail.com. Well, we are getting real close to Labor Day weekend. I could tell just by how heavy the freeway traffic was getting from KABC to my home studio between 3 and 4 that there's a lot of people that are already in vacation mode, and good for you. Labor Day weekend is one of those perfect road tripping holidays. But boy, just getting out of town can be quite the nightmare. But there's going to be one stretch of freeway where traffic is about to get a whole lot better or a whole lot worse. It depends who you are. That's right. What are we talking about? New express lanes are finally opening on the 10 freeway in San Bernardino County. And I don't currently live in an area where I interface with these all the time. So I'm curious to people that live in Orange County, the people that live near the 110, the 105, the 91, or this new one that's going on right now at the 10 freeway. Do you like the express lanes? Do the express lanes piss you off because they slow down the other lanes? Tell me what you think about express lanes on your freeways. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to a report on the 10 express lanes from NBC4.
The commute in the Inland Empire is about to look different. The long-awaited express lanes on the 10 freeway in San Bernardino County are set to open tonight, just in time for Labor Day weekend. NBC4's Amber Frias is live from Ontario with everything drivers can expect. Hi, Amber.
Hey, Annabelle. Well, traffic's already starting to build up out here, and the hope is that starting tomorrow, things will look a little better with the addition of these 2 new express lanes to the already 4 general traffic lanes out here on the I-10.
It's a heavily trafficked section of the 10 freeway.
You know, you waste your time, you waste your gas.
You waste your life. That's traffic. That's our lives.
For something is not.
I sit in traffic for 2 hours every single day. And I don't technically have a long commute. It's just over the hill.
For something is not needed.
A 10-mile stretch between Montclair and Ontario, drivers say, has been a stressful commute. But after a 4-year-long construction project, 2 new express lanes are opening.
It took 4 years to add 2 express lanes. You know, this is part of my problem with any freeway improvement project outside of Carmageddon, where they literally warned everyone we're shutting down the freeway for a weekend, but we're getting this done. While that project long term didn't really yield any results whatsoever that I can notice, I love that it happened so quickly. You know, I drive a lot to Santa Barbara, and the 101 in between Ventura and Santa Barbara in the Summerlin area, it feels like has been under some kind of construction ever since I started going out there over a decade ago. It is non-stop construction. The move of the lane over here, the move of the lane over there. They got to close these lanes. They got to close these lanes. When does the project actually finish? It took 4 years to add 2 express lanes on a 10-mile stretch of the 10. That seems wildly inefficient.
But after a 4-year-long construction project, 2 new express lanes are opening. For Khosrow Sharkey, who lives and owns a business in San Bernardino County, the new lanes couldn't have come sooner.
Anytime if I want to go to Los Angeles, I try to use them. That's the best way for transportation.
And then after you get through those 10 miles, it's back to the traffic jam.
While LA, Orange, and Riverside counties already have express lanes, these are the first for San Bernardino County. Starting Thursday, drivers can pay to use the lanes at the San Bernardino-LA County line and drive them to the 15 freeway. While the express lanes have generated excitement.
So you can go from Montclair to Rancho Cucamonga. The rest of the 10 freeway is still going to be a nightmare getting in and out of those lanes. Depending on who's willing to pay, those lanes themselves might be jammed. I mean, that's what we see with a lot of carpool lanes. You know, I have an electric car and I never applied for the sticker so I could go in the carpool lane because the carpool lane on the 405 where I drive is never faster than any of the other lanes.
While the express lanes have generated excitement for many, some are not convinced that they are the best way to deal with congestion.
I think there's other options that needs to be talked about.
Michael Guer, Sharkey's longtime friend, believes the county should focus on expanding public transportation instead. But the San Bernardino County Transportation Authority says the express lanes are simply meant to provide people with another option.
If you drove...
Yes, we'll get you there a little bit faster if you're willing to pay.
If you drove this I-10 today, you'll be very excited because you were probably in a lot of congestion this morning. Tomorrow morning, I would expect to see a better redistribution of that traffic.
Yes, the people that can afford to pay will go a little faster. The people that can't afford to pay or will not pay, the traffic's about to get worse.
Tomorrow morning, I would expect to see a better redistribution of that traffic so that people can get through the corridor effectively on their way to work or returning home from a long day at work.
So whether you are for or against the new express lanes, before you know it, traffic on the 10 may be looking a little different.
And drivers will have 2 options to pay for their use of the express lanes. They can order a transponder online on the SV Express Lanes website, or they can simply just pay for their toll online within 5 days.
And you better remember to pay. because that fine will go through the roof.
Of their use of these express lanes. Otherwise, they will get a citation. Now, as far as how much it will cost drivers, we are told that won't be determined until the lanes are open. Reporting live in Ontario, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
It could be $10 each way to go 10 miles. Who knows? Maybe it'll be like $7. Still. My question to you at 800-222-KABC for our Orange County listeners, whether it's the 91, whether it's the 405, for our LA County listeners, whether it's the 105 or the 110, do you like these express lanes? Are you a fan of them? Have they improved the traffic situation in your area, or have they made it worse because only the people that can afford it can get through? I'd like to know. At some point, they're supposed to be putting them in the Sepulveda Pass. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Have the express lanes improved traffic in your neck of the woods? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let the residents of San Bernardino County know what they're in store for. 800-222-KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Patrick in Fullerton. Patrick, hello.
Hey, Randy, how are you today?
Doing great.
It's a freeway, not the fee-way. We're riding on the freeway. They didn't say, we're riding on the Caltrans 270 for the first mile way. It's ridiculous. They paid for the Brooklyn Bridge about 400 years ago, and they had a toll to take care of paying for it, and they're still charging tolls. It's like a tax of any kind. Once they get your hooks in you, they're never going to let you go. It's a bad idea, and it gets jammed up anyway. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you make a great point, Patrick. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Where's this money going to go exactly that they're going to raise? I guess it's going to pay for get this, how much did it cost to build a 10-mile stretch of express lanes on the 10 freeway? That 4-year project cost $900 million. So it's time to pull out our fancy schmancy calculators. Let's do a little math, shall we? It costs $900 million. Each toll is probably, let's say, about $5. They're going to need 1.8 million tolls to make that money back. Oh, my. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. 1-800-222-5222. The 10 freeway is getting new express lanes this week. If you've got express lanes where you live, do you like them? Do they drive you crazy? Is this a cash grab? Do they actually improve the flow of traffic? Let me know how you feel about the express lanes. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC. The latest set of express lanes are coming to the 10 freeway in between Montclair and Rancho Cucamonga. It cost $900 million and it took 4 years, but here we go. It's supposed to improve the flow of traffic. Or is it? 800-222-KABC. Let's go to Andrew in Riverside. Andrew, hello.
Hi there. Yeah, I'm totally against the toll roads. I spent my whole life here in California taking the 91 freeway from Orange County to Riverside and vice versa. And now today I had to pay $27 to go from Riverside to Anaheim and then another $6 to complete that trip. And then now on the way back, I'm paying $7. And then I don't even know what I just paid right now, literally on it as we speak.
That's an insane amount of money to have to pay to commute.
I know. I made arrangements to make sure I don't do that daily. But, there are the days where I do have to commute in that fashion. And it's a lot of money. And a lot of people are doing it.
Well, and I'd love to know where exactly your $27 to go on a little stretch of the 91 is exactly going.
Exactly. I mean, the freeway's not too clean. It's always beat up, and there is a long line to get on that toll road anyway, so it doesn't save much time. But you know what? I'm over waiting in 2-hour traffic, so I just take it and suck it up and pay the toll for now. But yeah.
I feel for you, Andrew. I complain about the 405, but the 405's got nothing on the 91, buddy.
No, it doesn't. That's awful over there as well, too. I mean,
it truly is.
I'm
Andrew,
totally
thanks.
against it.
Yeah, I feel you. Thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. Let's go to Stan in Arcadia. Stan, hello.
Hi, Randy. Thanks for taking my call. I am 100% against tolls. I mean, our taxpayer dollars go towards paying for the infrastructure, and then they carve out a couple lanes, and then they start charging, to drive in it. And even if you have a carpool, you got to buy the little sensor express tollway thing, and that's insane as well. So it gets under my skin, and I hate what our politicians are doing, and the folks in the deep state that go towards screwing those that contribute to the economy.
It's unbelievable, not only how this isn't really going to help that many people, but also this one project, a 10-mile stretch of the 10 freeway to put in these 2 express lanes, took 4 years and $900 million.
Yeah, that's insane. I mean, that money could be better spent like anywhere else. I don't know what else to say. But you mentioned, express lanes. I turned on the radio and you heard, and I was compelled to call in and express my frustration. So
well, we're so glad that you did. Please call in again, Stan. Glad to hear from you. Now, I did the math earlier. I think I put a wrong zero in there. If it's $900 million, and let's say every average toll, and we're lowballing, let's say it's a $5 toll each way, you're going to need 180 million tolls to make your money back. And okay, you say that there are some that say that 300,000 people use that stretch of freeway every single day. So if we divide 180 million by 300,000, we're going to need, well, it says we'll make our money back if every single person used those lanes for 600 days straight. But every single person isn't going to use those lanes because then they wouldn't be any faster. Let's go to Bill in La Cañada. Bill, hello.
Hey, Randy, on your earlier question, I think there's one equally plausible explanation than Hugo's concerning the disappearing homeless people. I think Imelda Padilla used broken windy theory, and here's how she did it. Sources at a certain newspaper in Los Angeles told me that she blasted the following song lyrics to the homeless encampment from a famous tune from 1973. The highway's jammed with broken heroes on a last chance power ride. Someday we'll walk in the sun. Come on, Wendy, tramps like us. Baby, we were born to run. Bruce Springsteen.
There you go. That's one theory. Thanks so much for the call, Bill. Appreciate it.
Broken windy theory.
Oh, Imelda. You don't make the news nearly enough because she's actually, I live in her district. She's not as bad as Hugo.
Yeah, clap that up.
She's not as bad as Ulysses.
Quite frankly.
That's a bad one. She's for the most part is doing a little better than the representation we had before. I mean, she's trying to get the RVs out of here. So good for you.
The neighborhood kids, the down-ass kids don't like it.
I love that one.
Street pavements that are cooler.
And you know what, Imelda? If I see some noticeable progress, I'm even willing to take off your doing the pledge.
Mr. President, today's Tuesday. It's time for the flag salute.
Wonderful. If everyone could please rise for the flag salute. Councilwoman Padilla, would you please lead us in the flag salute?
Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
to the republic for
which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice
and justice for all.
Imelda, I'm willing to get rid of that. I'll take it off the wall. Just show me a little more improvement. You show me a little, I think you can do it. Thank you all so much for tuning in and being a part of this show. People that call in, people that email, people that listen, tell their friends about it. It's a big deal. It's a dream come true to do this every single day. If you miss any episode of the show, you can always get a podcast of it at kabc.com/newsblitz, or go to the Apple Podcast app, search KABC News Blitz, or search Randy Wang. You'll find it. You can subscribe, follow, download all the episodes, transcribe them. You'll see the text version of the show. You can read us. See you tomorrow for another News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.